impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in us to the best of our skill and judgment.
Thank you, Councillor McMichael, and I'll call upon Councillor Witters to provide an acknowledgement of country.
Yeah, just like to recognise and acknowledge that the continent of Australia is made up of many lands, and today Armidale Regional Council meets on the land of the Eannawan people, and I'd like to pay our tributes to their love of land, love of people and love of culture.
Thank you, Councillor Witters, and I'll call upon the General Manager to make a statement regarding live streaming of council meetings.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. This meeting is being audio and video recorded, and the recordings of the non-confidential parts of the meeting will be made available on the website. No other person is permitted to record the meeting unless specifically authorised by council to do so. And can we make sure that all mobile phones are set to silent, please? Thanks, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Mr General Manager. Councillors, as there are no apologies or applications believed, we'll go straight to the disclosure of interest. Having reviewed the agenda, does anyone need to declare a conflict of interest?
Yes, Mr Mayor, I do. I, Councillor Kay Endres, wish to formally declare a non-pecuniary interest in relation to the report 13.1, clause 5.3, under consideration at this meeting. Whilst I do not stand to gain any financial benefit from the outcome, I acknowledge that I have a personal association connection with Tilda Rocks organisation that may be affected by Council's decision. This interest does not influence my ability to make an impartial decision, and I'm committed to upholding the principles of transparency and integrity in all council proceedings. I make this declaration in accordance with Council's Code of Conduct and the Local Government Act, ensuring that all actions taken are in the best interest of the community, and I'll stay in the chamber to vote.
Terrific. Thank you, Councillor Endres. Councillors, item 5.1 is the confirmation of the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 26th of November 2025. Council is being asked to note and accept these these minutes as a true record of the meeting. Could I have a mover, please? Thanks, Councillor McMichael, and a seconder. Thanks, Councillor Endres. Councillor McMichael, anything to say? Councillor Endres. Right, councillors, let's put it to a vote. All those in favour of accepting those minutes, those against? Thank you. I'll declare that one carried unanimously. Item 7.1 is in relation to ethical decision making, which is this particular item is a standing item, and it's there to guide councillors to assist us in making ethical decisions. Councillors being asked to note the report. Can I have a mover, please? Thanks, Councillor Redwood, and seconded Councillor Tabor. Councillor Redwood, anything to say? Councillor Tabor? All right, all those in favour of accepting that? Thank you. I declare that one carried unanimously. Item 7.2 is the Council Actions Report, which summarises the actions taken on Council resolutions from October 2024. Council is being asked to note this report. We have details from page 6 of the agenda and page 17 of the attachments. There is a recommendation on the screen. Can I have a move for that, please? Thanks, Councillor McMichael, and seconded Councillor Redwood. Councillor McMichael, anything to say?
Oh, just great to see the actions recorded, but also it was terrific to see the Christmas in the Mall, both in Armidale last week and in Guyra on Friday. And I'd like to thank the precinct and activation team, particularly Renata Davis, for coordinating all that. The community had a ball. It was marvellous.
Thank you. Councillor Redwood?
Nothing left said. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you. All right, all those in favour of noting that report? Thank you. I declare that one carried unanimously. Item 9.1 is the outcome of the public exhibition. It's seeking to put on public exhibition the draft destination management plan. So council is being asked to endorse that plan for public exhibition and receive a further report at the end of the submission period. The details are from page 8 of the agenda, and you have attachments sent out separately. So can I have a move, please? Thanks, Councillor Gadders. Second, Councillor Imad. Councillor Gadders, anything to say here?
I will on this one, Mr Mayor.
Excellent.
Yeah, look, I just wanted to actually read out two paragraphs that sort of resonated with me when I went through the destination management plan. Obviously, this is going out on public exhibition, so I'd implore everybody to have a look through. But yeah, here's these two paragraphs. The Armidale region's charm lies in its unique combination of cosmopolitan style and picturesque rural setting, offering an exceptional quality of life and visitor experience. And therefore, later in the report, it said the opportunity for the region will be utilise the growing population and imminent economic prospects to inject sustainable, authentic and community-led visitor experiences. Improved infrastructure and skilled tourism workers in the region to create strength and longevity as a destination, and long after our peaks of growth have gone. So I think they were two very, very good statements made in this destination management plan, and I therefore ask the public as it goes on exhibition to have a good look at this. Let it inspire you a little bit, and let us get some good feedback out of this. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Councillor Gadders. Councillor Imad.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'll add a couple of things. First, I'd like to thank ARC's team for their continued commitment in strengthening our visitor economy. This destination plan is quite vital for our future, and I want to note this year has been a great year in terms of events held, and I look forward to seeing more happen. And I want to mention Renata and her team. They've been doing a fantastic job. I did observe Renata last week with a large crew. I don't know who they are, but I'm thankful for all of them in Gara, assisting with the Rotary Christmas event. They were running off their feet, ensuring it was a great and successful event. So I look for a lot more of this in the future with this destination plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Imad. Councillor Redwood.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, and thanks for the segue there, Councillor Imad. I think you've touched on something that is the reason why we need a destination management plan, because tourism is not just events; it's the whole package. And so what this does is puts a wrapper around everything that we have and everything that we could be or can be, and gives us a bit of a North Star to be able to guide us towards. So, yeah, I think we do a great job with events, there's no doubt about that, but there's so much more to tourism than just events. So I think it's a great start to our rebirthing of tourism in our region.
Thank you, Councillor Redwood. Councillor Robinson.
Yeah, before I say something, I just wondered if you could remind me how much we're paying TRC Tourism for this consultancy. Do you have it? Does anybody have a figure off the top of their heads?
Turn that to you, Mr. James.
Yeah. Okay, well, what I'd like to do is say that I really admire the sentiments in this document, but I still believe that more needs to be done to ensure that these sentiments are put into practice. For example, page 14 says, inclusive and accessible. Our destination should welcome everyone with spaces, stories and experiences that reflect and respect a diversity of needs. And a welcoming environment is a really great goal, but that means a healthy one that complies with World Health Organization guidelines. And that's hardly the case at the moment, and possibly something that our out-of-town consultants didn't know about. Maybe they haven't seen the report in the Medical Journal of Australia showing an economic burden of $33 million a year for a pollution problem that might cost $9 million to fix. And so saving $33 million a year for an outlet of 9 or 10 million seems like an astronomical benefit-cost ratio compared with anything else in that document. And every document on growing our region and making it a desirable place to live or visit should highlight the need for a healthy environment so that we can cast the widest possible net for funding opportunities to increase our chances of success.
because without clean air, we're all
Councillor
at
Robinson,
risk. Yep.
we might just need to keep it a little more on topic. I know you're running very parallel, but they seem to be fairly tenuous links.
No, it's not a tenuous link. We need clean air as a destination. And without that clean air, we won't be a destination because we're all at risk of a whole host of health problems: heart attacks, strokes, dementia, cancer, asthma attacks, lung disease, including COVID and long COVID, reduced cognitive ability, lower birth weight in babies, complications in pregnancy, just to name a few. And that's according to the most reliable research, including peer-reviewed papers in the Medical Journal of Australia, one of the most prestigious sources of information, and a comprehensive report by the ACT's Office of Environment and Sustainability. So what I think we should be doing, Destination Australia could and should be aiming to be part of the solution, work with renewable energy developers and essential energy, both to create jobs, which is part of that programme, but also offer electricity for something like the cost of generation and transmission. And that's a lot less than what most people are paying now, even at 2.4 gigawatt transmission lines.
Councillor Robinson, the price of electricity is a lot. Now we've gone a long way off what the destination management plan is. I know exactly what you're trying to do, but can you bring this to a close fairly quickly, and even better, just tie it in a destination management plan bow?
Yeah, well, I believe it is, because we want to attract people. That's our destination plan.
I don't, and I'm the chair, so I'm really directing you to keep it on track.
Well, let's lead the way. I've put some ideas out there, and I could have a few more maybe if I'd had another minute. It's a bit unfair cutting me down to my 5 minutes. But let's take every opportunity to make Armidale a desirable place where people want to live, and even the central area where we don't meet World Health guidelines, and most people who know and understand the risks would not at the moment want to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else wish to say anything? Councillor McMichael.
Oh, yes, I just wanted to say that it's going on public exhibition. There are a number of groups, community groups mentioned in here as part of it, and I think it's really important that everyone has a stake in the plan. As my colleague Councillor Redwood mentioned, it's not just coming here for a couple of days. It's about staying. It's about enjoying the region. It's like it's who comes. What they do, where they go. If you've got an idea, look at the plan, make some ideas, bring it back to us. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Witters.
Putting things out on public exhibition is a concept that allows for things that may have been missed to be picked up. Not everything's marshmallows and clouds. And Councillor Robinson, I think, raises some points on, by putting this out on public exhibition and looking at the strategic priorities for this, it gives a chance for the community to have their input on where this goes and what sort of direction it goes, but it also gives them opportunities to find places where they can improve it and bring in, whether it's tourism ideas, businesses, which may cut down on some of the things that you talked about, Councillor Robinson, different opportunities for those sorts of things. And I look at number 4, regenerate and steward natural and cultural assets. Things about regenerating landscapes, biodiversity and cultural heritage, all that sort of stuff. There's opportunities available there. So if the community looks at this and doesn't just go, oh, that's a council thing, and expect council to do everything, it's not for council to do everything. It's an idea from council and for the community to come along with it. And those who have an entrepreneurial mindset might see something in this way, and they might see something in your points, Councillor Robinson, that where they can work together using this and using the council's resources as well as their own resources to strengthen this plan. I think it's a good start. Let's see what the community comes back with, and then go from there and see if there's anything we can add, take away, or other ideas that can come with it.
Thank you. Councillor Redwood.
I've already spoken.
Yes, you can ask a question.
Councillor Robinson, I'm not aware of the World Health Organisation or any other health organisations being in charge of tourism or destination management for anywhere, but is that part of the portfolio? Is that part of their expertise? That's one question.
Well, I think anything, I mean, I wouldn't want to go to the middle of polluted Delhi or various other places as a tourism destination if it was unhealthy. And I think the thing is, tourism is about enjoying the experience. It's about being healthy and happy and having a great time. And if we have a problem, I mean, if you go to Armidale and end up with an asthma attack, or you and it's not only about tourism, this destination plan is about attracting people to live here. I read it, and that's what it says. There's an aim to have 2,900 more residents by 2030. And so there is a twofold thing. One is to attract people here, and the other is to keep them here, encourage them to live here. And so that two-pronged approach really means making Armidale a destination, and that destination does have to be a healthy place.
My other question was just about maybe you've got different people coming to visit you, but some of the charm of New England region when I have visitors coming who I would dub as tourists, but potential people to come and live here, is sitting by open fire with a glass of wine, because it's quite charming and it's part of our attraction. But it brought me to a question where, do you think that perhaps a wine growing region, let's just say Mudgee, which was tourism destination of the year actually twice running for Australia, do you think that the industry or the council would be against the wine growers? Because wine is actually bad for you. It's cancer producing, it's some form of drug, really, alcohol. So do you think that they're against the wineries and therefore we should be against the people who have an open fire? I'm struggling to understand.
That's right, Matt. And then maybe that might be the end of that line of questioning.
Well, my question was, I mean, since I developed an autoimmune disease, I haven't touched alcohol because it's an autoimmune liver disease. And I can still live in Armidale and not drink alcohol. Nobody's forces alcohol down my throat. I'm perfectly free to do that, but I'm not free to breathe clean air. And for that reason, because I've now got a chronic illness, half the year I do not go into the central CBD and central area outside, after between from 4 p.m. till 8 a.m. the following morning. I just avoid it because it's unhealthy. And there will be more and more people doing that. And that's not the way to run a destination plan, is discourage people from being here.
Thank you. Councillor Imad, you were the seconder, so you'd have to be asking a question or some clarification.
I am asking a question through you, Mr. Mayor, to the GM. Mr. GM, if you can get back to us on the cost of the destination plan, and how does that compare with the Green Party renovation room in Canberra? More or less, bit of a proportion.
I think that might be a little bit out of line, that one, Councillor Imad. I'll let you do the maths on that once you've got the report. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, councillors. Let's put this to a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that one carried unanimously. Councillors, we are going to do items 9.2, 9.3 and 9.4 in globo. This is dwelling applications for Barley Court. These items, they concern a variation to the Armidale Regional Local Environmental Plan to enable dwellings in the developments at 80, 73 and 79 Barley Court, and they're also subject to conditions. The details for those watching at home are from page 13 of the agenda and page 37 of the attachments. There is a number of recommendations for each of those on the screen that are largely identical, but could I have a mover, please? Thanks, Councillor Witters, and seconded Councillor Redwood. Councillor Witters, anything to say? Nope. Councillor Redwood, anything to say on this?
No, hopefully this is the last time that we need to do this style of the councillors seeing these because of the what we've done in the amendment that we're looking for doing in the LAP that we voted for in the previous council meeting. But otherwise, no, let's crack on.
Thank you. Councillors, anyone else wish to speak to this? All right, let's put this to a vote. All those in favour for 9.2, 9.3, 9.4? Thank you. I declare that carried, or those carried unanimously. Item 9.5 is an update to the planning proposal for 241 Grafton Road, which is in our Eastern Growth Corridor, and it came before council. An item at that development came before council in the August Ordinary Council meeting. This recommendation is to facilitate the land zoning and some related steps. The details are from page 59 of the agenda and 171 of the attachments. Can I have a mover for the recommendation on the screen? Thanks, Councillor Imad. Seconded, Councillor Redwood. Councillor Imad, anything to say here?
I'll just say that it's great to see development in Armidale, and it's more welcome.
Thank you. Councillor Redwood. Right. Councillors, all those in favour? Thank you. I declare that one carried unanimously. Item 9.6 is an updated renewable energy community benefit sharing framework. So it's important to understand that Armidale Regional Council's benefit sharing framework has set the standard within the state in spelling out how renewable energy developers are expected to contribute to the communities that they are operating in. Now, to ensure that this framework remains contemporary, it's reviewed regularly, and this iteration concerns changes to the way that expected benefits from battery energy storage systems are calculated. So we have details on page 66 of the agenda and 251 of the attachments. The recommendation on the screen is to endorse this for public exhibition and then receive a further report. So could I have a mover, please? Councillor Robinson, seconded Councillor Gadders. Councillor Robinson, anything to say here?
It's a very small change, but it's still very, very welcome to find that we are setting the pace and setting the standard for the rest of New South Wales. So yes, I'm sure that there won't be many objections to this, but let's put it to public exhibition and get it passed.
Thank you. Councillor Gadders.
Nothing to say, Mr. Mayor. I'd like it to stay about the topic that's in the report rather than diverging off onto something totally different.
Excellent. Doesn't seem to be any danger of that yet. Any other councillors wish to speak to it? Councillor McMichael.
I'd just like to say that it's terrific to have the added things in the benefit, and it's for the community, and it's going to be great.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, councillors, let's put this to a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that one carried unanimously. Item 10.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Councillor Reinert.
I didn't put my hand up.
Those against? I declare I have to change the vote for item 9.6. It is passed 8-1 with Councillor Ryman against. I'm happy to go back a step if you wish to make any sort of a statement, Councillor Ryman. All right, thank you. Item 10.1. Code of Conduct Complaint Statistics. So this report sets out the Code of Conduct Complaint Statistics really for this term of council. So it's from September 2024 to October 2025. It should be noted there that no complaints have been made against councillors or staff in this period. And we have details from page 70 of the agenda and 254 of the attachments. The recommendation there is to receive and note the report and endorse it to be sent to the OLG. So can I have a mover, please? Thanks, Councillor Imad. Seconded, Councillor Andrews. Councillor Imad, anything to say?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not much. I'll just say it's really nice to see the statistics. I hear it used to be a lot worse, and hopefully I don't contribute to the deterioration of that.
Thanks, Councillor Imad. Still 2.5 years to go. Councillor Endres?
No, I'd just like to reiterate with what Councillor Imad said. Well done, councillors. I think it's a great result at the end of the year.
Thank you. All right, councillors, anyone else wish to speak? Councillor Witters?
Pleasing that within my 7.5 years in and around this chamber to see that number. It's a good example of cause and effect. You remove the cause, the effect changes.
Thank you. All right, let's put this to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that one carried unanimously. Councillors, item 10.2 is in relation to the adoption of the Code of Meeting Practice. The draft has been on public exhibition and 2 responses were received. The recommendation is that Council note the submissions and the responses and adopt the draft Code of Meeting Practice. We have details on page 72 of the agenda and from 263 of the attachments. Can I have a mover, please? Thanks, Councillor Robinson. The seconder, Councillor McMichael. Councillor Robinson.
Well, I'd also like to ask a question about this. I note that comments say that it's not possible to comply with 7.1 of the Code of Meeting Practice for technical reasons. So is the plan to use the technical equipment as we do now, since we can't comply with it? It seems to be the only alternative.
Mr. Mayor, you mean in terms of standing up and whatnot? Yes, to do as we do now, yes.
I have another question, which was basically, I believe there was a comment on the public submissions about how we record decisions in the minutes, and that we know that failing to vote is taken as a vote against. But some councils do record abstentions and then note at the same time that that is considered a vote against the motion. It would be really helpful if we could do that from now on. But I'll just leave that as a comment and you can think about it. But also, yeah, I mean, I would like to draw attention to what Queen Bay and Palerang Council proposes to do now that we don't have the general manager briefing sessions, which is from their website. It says, councillors can submit questions on any matter in the business paper until midnight Sunday before the meeting, and then responses will be provided by the general manager in a questions with notice supplementary report that is published on QPRC website the morning of the meeting. And I'm just again suggesting our comments say that we haven't actually worked out what we would do, but I'm also commending what QPRC is doing, because it seems a very, very sensible way of managing questions, because when we get the business papers, there will be questions, and doing something like this does make sense to do something about it. And I just also very quickly want to say that although the meeting principles haven't been changed, they are still as important as ever. Transparent. Decisions are made in a way that is open and accountable. Informed. Decisions are made based on relevant quality information, and inclusive. Decisions respect the diverse needs and interests of the local community, which they haven't changed, but they are just as good as they are. And just another quick comment. I understand that in state parliament, there's a disallowance motion for the current code, which will be debated early next year, and that there might be some changes or compromises agreed to prevent this disallowance motion from passing. So yes, I'm happy to support it, because I think it will change, and I think there are some improvements that will be useful. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor McMichael, anything you wish to say on this?
Look, I appreciate why the code has been is being implemented, but I still think that there are various issues with how what we're being asked to do, and I appreciate those councils who are offering disallowance motions and various other aspects, because I think it's heavy-handed, and there are still significant issues. I think staff who have gone through the code and have adapted it for us, and appreciate that it will be our code from January, and we will work with it. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, councillors, anyone else wish to speak? Councillor Imad.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say that it's very conflicting. There's a lot of information in that code that I'd like to see happen, and there's a lot that you don't. But at the end of the day, our vote is going to count for nothing, given that we have to put up with it from January 1st. I don't know where we go with it, but it seems like another pink back decision that no one knows where it's going to go or end up. And I know at the recent LG NSW, none of the councils that I spoke to are happy with it, and they're looking to challenge it. And I hope that it gets challenged, and maybe we can work to improve it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, councillors, if there's
Yep.
there is. Councillor Witters.
Listening to some of the comments, I really do hope that motion that's being put up earlier in the year gets ahead. This, I mentioned, I think when we put out the public exhibition, may have said the word nonsense. This is nonsense, this whole thing. And the fact that it's a model code, and councillors and each individual council can't choose to adopt or alter anything in it, as was done a few years back. I remember sitting at the other side of the room and spending a couple of hours going through each point, whether to adopt or not adopt of the model code of conduct. Took us a while, but we got through it. This one doesn't allow for that. And the one we've got at the moment is fairly vanilla. And in my time in this chamber, I've found that even that's very hard to follow for some councillors. So adding a convoluted one like this one will really add to the sometimes difficult way council meetings are run, not only here but around the state. And I really do hope cooler heads prevail over the Christmas break, and that something can be done in regards to getting a better version of the Code of Meeting Practice out, because I think it's one of the most important documents within local government.
Thank you. All right, councillors, let's put this to the vote. All those in favour of adopting, to the extent we have a vote, thank you. Those against? It is. All right, I declare that one carried unanimously, if not enthusiastically. All right. Councillors, this brings us to the committee reports. We have two committee reports here, the Traffic Advisory Committee and the Sports Council. So the first one, item 13.1, is the Traffic Advisory Committee, and the recommendation is that we note the minutes from the meeting that they held on the 2nd of December 2025, and also note a number of specific actions. Can I have a mover, please? Thanks, Councillor McMichael. A seconder, Councillor Imad. Councillor McMichael, as the chair, would you like to talk us through any highlights?
Yes, so a couple of things. Because the committee was held on the 2nd, it was early, and the proper minutes aren't available for this meeting. So council will be requesting that the council provide the GM with delegation to endorse the recommendations from the meeting due to a number of events being held prior to the next council meeting. Ulysses Motorcycle Club has just provided their notice of intention for a ride on the 13th of December. Everything was endorsed at the meeting on the 2nd of December and includes the advice about the Lamb and Potato Festival. As per the application from the Guyra and District Historical Society in August 25, the slip lane on the southwestern corner of the intersection of the New England Highway and Sandon Street will be closed, and a road occupancy licence will be required to close this section of road for safety reasons for the duration of the Lamb and Potato Festival from Wednesday the 14th of January to the close of business Monday the 26th of January 2026. The application for all this will be submitted by council. I have previously advised the council of the changes to the delegations bestowed upon us by Transport for New South Wales. The Traffic Advisory Committee will now become the local traffic forum, and council will be given more responsibility for the changes we make within our local road network. A report will go to the February meeting highlighting those new responsibilities, where a new policy and procedure document will be presented. So, we've organised the Autumn Festival in 2076, the Camp Draft, Kay's Tour de Rocks, Councillor Endress's Tour de Rocks, and as mentioned, the Gyra Lamb Potato Festival. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor McMichael. Councillors, are there any other comments, questions? Right, let's put this to the vote. All those in favour of noting those minutes, thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. The next one, item 13.2, is a Sports Council report, and the recommendation is that the minutes of 18 November 2025 be noted, and also to endorse some specific actions. Can I have a mover, please? Thanks, Councillor Endres. Seconded, Councillor Imad. Councillor Endres, can you give us?
I'd just like to say, with the Sports Council meeting and the end of the year, some great things are starting to happen. And also, I'd like to thank the ground staff for the ARC. I mean, we all know how fast the grass is growing, but those guys have been working their little butts off to make sure those grounds are all kept neat and tidy. So thanks again.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, councillors, let's put this to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. Noting that report. Thank you. I declare that one carried unanimously. Councillors, we now come to item 14.1. So this report provides a response to the, omnibus of questions on notice from Councillor Robinson, and Council being asked to note that response. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Robinson, and then a seconder. Thanks, Councillor McMichael. Councillor Robinson, would you like to speak to this?
Yeah, thank you. Just very, very briefly, that I would like to point out that most of these questions weren't actually new, and they were taken on notice either in the October or November council meetings, or asked by email on the 12th of November, which is also nearly a month ago. But through the Mayor, I'd also like to ask if there are any that can be answered at this meeting. For example, the application to the National Water Grid or the bulk water tariff, or which information should be probably quite easily available, or whether anybody has yet considered whether the technical report on raising the Malpas Dam wall should still be confidential.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Councillor Robinson. As per my email to you yesterday, I believe, Councillor Robinson, there was a National Water Grid grant that you were seeking information on, and council was unsuccessful in that grant. On the others, I'll need to come back to you.
Okay, thank you very much then. I'll move the motion.
Thank you. It has been seconded as well. Questions, queries, comments? All right, let's put that to a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Councillors, that brings us to the end of this ordinary council meeting, our last one for the year, and I declare the meeting closed at 4:39 p.m.